years, I've realized there are quite a few beauty products I just don't use anymore. Some don't work as well with my skin now, but honestly, some of them I just don't care about anymore. So I went through my makeup stash and came up with 8 things I've pretty much stopped using after 50. Now remember that these aren't rules for women over 50. This is just what's changed for me. So if any of these products still work for you, please keep using them, because it's all about making sure that you feel great and you feel confident about yourself. All right, I've got a bunch of notes here right next to me, and if you see me looking off to the side, that's the reason. All right, first things first, full coverage foundation. I have found over the years that my face will tend to be so dry to the point where any kind of thick foundation can really show up as being very cakey, especially if I get anything underneath my eyes. I've not been able to use any kind of heavy concealer to help cover up the under eye discoloration or even the under eye bags that I have. Not that you can cover those up, but I've pretty much stayed away from any kind of heavy concealer or heavy full coverage foundations. Instead, I have been using BB creams and CC creams and even just lighter foundation. What I'll do is, if I find something that is kind of like a holy grail foundation, like the Estee Lauder Double Wear, I still have my half full jar on my counter, and what I do is I make sure that I really prep my face really well with a nice moisturizer, and then what I do is I just dot it in different areas where I know, like in this area right here in the center part of my face, I will kind of just apply it there. I never apply it to my cheeks because then I get that super tight feeling around my cheeks, and I just don't like that. All right, next is mattifying powder. I don't go for anything that will remove shine from my face. Instead, I'm really focused more on a very natural appearance, natural finish. If I have to use any kind of powder, like a setting powder, like the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores, I really like that one because it is so finely milled, but it doesn't give me that really flat, mattified, soak up all of the oil in the face kind of look. I really make a point to just really apply it here in the central part of my face so that my cheeks don't suffer that horrible dry type feeling that mattifying powders can give you. All right, the next is contouring. Now I have contouring sticks, bronzing sticks, contour powders, all of those things. Now, the aging face will lose fat and our skin will be a lot thinner. And a lot of us, like for me, I've noticed that the chubby cheeks are kind of getting a little bit less chubby, and the bonier parts of my face is kind of more apparent. Right now, my face is a little bit blown out just because I have all of these bright lights. But in real life, my cheekbones and the hollowness here and in my temples, and especially underneath my eyes, they're a little bit more prominent. So I've never really been very good at contouring, so I've just kind of done away with that aspect of my makeup application. I've never felt like it's been required, and you know, these days I felt like I'm really not going to emphasize like my cheekbones or the hollowness of my cheeks. I just don't feel like I need to really sculpt my face. Instead, I really focus on using bronzers to really add warmth to my face, because what I end up having is a lot of sallowness and maybe just a flat color to my face, like almost like gray. I don't like to say that, but it's true. As I've gotten older, I've noticed that I don't have the rosy or the color to my face anymore. So what I do instead is I really focus on using bronzers to bring life back into my life. All right, so the next beauty product is blush. Lots of blush. I have been choosing things that really complement my skin tone. I remember when I was much younger, I would have the array of blushes, right? Because it has to match certain occasions, like if I'm going out at night versus during the day. Now I've simplified everything. I don't have too many choices any longer. Instead, I'll pick one versatile color, and I want to make sure that it's also travel friendly. It works for the day and it works for the night. It's all about simplifying what I apply on my face. If you notice, and of course, because the lights are so bright, it may not show up very well on my face, but I do try to steer myself towards kind of a more natural blush choice. So I won't have the really bright pinks, and I won't have bright mauve colors that I would have used or steered towards in my younger years. Now, let's go to the next one. Number 5, colorful eyeshadows. I remember a while ago when I used to match my eyeshadow to my outfit, right? So if I'm wearing purple, which I don't anymore, I pretty much just wear a lot of black because I don't like to have to think too much about my outfit. So you'll notice I wear different collared black shirts, but I try not to deviate too much from black just because I don't like to fuss with anything else. On occasion, I'll add a little color to my tops, but for the most part, if you see me out and about, I've got my black shirt on. But anyways, let's go back. So colorful eyeshadows. So I don't do purples, blues, pinks, or anything really bright that is standing out. I prefer more of the browns, the neutrals, things that once again complement and blend with the warmth that I want on my face. Next, number 6. Glitter. All right, remember when we used to get the eyeshadows that have glitter in them? Oh my gosh, I used to love that. I would put it on my eyelids and everything. I didn't care about the fact that it would get, by the end of the day, it's underneath my eyes. I would just wipe it away, but I thought, oh, glitter was so beautiful. Nowadays, I'm not doing it, The other thing that glitter can appear in is lip color. I try to stay away from anything that has that glittery effect because once again, if you have any fine lines around your lips, it will tend to migrate. Despite using lip pencils or anything like that, I stay away from anything that has too much glitter in it because it'll end up in different parts of my face. That's not something that I can really handle on my face any longer. The other thing that might be a little bit controversial are lip plumpers. Now, I love the Buxom lip glosses, and they have a little bit of a tingly feeling, but what I mean by the lip plumpers is that the ones that really burn a little bit, that's really, really minty, I tend to not steer towards those any longer because my lips have lost a lot of volume. I haven't gotten any kind of injections or fillers or anything like that, but I do have texture on my lips. And if I use lip plumpers, it really irritates my lips and it causes peeling of my lips. So I tend to stay away from anything that's harsh or irritating to my lips. That leads me to the next topic, which is long wear lipsticks. Overly matte lipsticks or long wear lipsticks just don't work for my lips anymore. It is so dry and so sensitive that I usually will apply just a moisturizer on my lips and a little bit of Vaseline, just because what happens is right now, because I'm filming, I'm using a lipstick, but for the most part, on a day-to-day basis, I usually just use a nice lip balm or some Vaseline just to maintain the moisture in my lips. Now, I know that Vaseline is not used for hydration. Instead, what you want to do is you want to moisturize your lips and apply the Vaseline almost like an occlusive treatment, and that'll help kind of seal the moisture on your lips. But those two things, that's usually in my stash. I always have some sort of lip balm or something that will kind of combat the dryness that my lips suffer from. Now, the last one, and again, this might be a little bit controversial, that's highlighters. I don't want the extra shine. Again, I'm not great at contouring. I'm not great at applying highlights, and I've never been able to really apply it correctly without looking like a grease ball. So I've tossed all of those highlighters out. I don't use them. I'm not going to try them anymore. And I feel like it's just another one of those unnecessary steps in my makeup routine on a day-to-day basis. So these 8 things I've just kind of like moved out of my makeup stash. I'm sorry I don't have the actual products anymore because I've tossed them out. I'm kind of going through a big decluttering, cleaning out my drawers. I wish I had a daughter because I would give all of my makeup over to her and she could experiment, but I've just done away with all of these products that I just can't tolerate on my skin any longer. So for those of you who continue to use these products and still make it work for your skin type, that's wonderful, because remember, it's all about making sure that you feel great about yourself. And if that's what elevates your spirit, keep doing it, all right? But these are just the things that I've kind of done away with from my stash because they just don't work anymore. I think the biggest change in my beauty routine after 50 really isn't about what I can't wear. It's that I've stopped feeling like I have to use everything we're told belongs in a complete makeup routine. I was one of those people that just would watch endless makeup videos because I just found them so entertaining. Again, I was never really very good at application of my makeup. I've always steered towards kind of the basic things, but I tried the contours, the bright eyeshadows, and I tried to make it work, but it just didn't suit me very well, so I've kind of just removed them from my routine. And nowadays, if it goes against my skin type, if it goes against how I want my makeup to appear on my face, I just don't deal with it anymore. I keep it really simple. I go back to basics. So these days it's all about just enhancing the features that I have, and I'm really embracing what has happened to my face. No matter how many wrinkles, fine lines, droopiness that I have on my face, I'm just going to deal with it, and I'm going to try to just enhance what I have for now. Again, this is not a hard and fast rule for anyone. It's just what's working for me because my focus has been something totally different, and it's not about how many different steps I have in my makeup routine. All right, so let me know in the comments down below what changes you've made in your makeup routine, in your makeup stash. I'm still decluttering. I'm still going through all of my stuff and getting rid of the things that just don't work for me. I'm not going to sit here and try to make it work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, I think part of it is because there's that part of me that feels like I spent all this money. I don't want to waste my money. I want to try it and make it work. But here's the thing. Our faces have changed. My face has changed over the last 5 years, and I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm just going to enhance what I have and enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, all right? Thank you so much for being here with me and being part of this little community that I'm trying to create here. It's all about us boosting each other up, helping each other out. So I would really enjoy it. Enjoy your comments down below if you'd love to share it. All right. Thank you again for being here. Please like, subscribe, and hype if you found this helpful. All right. We'll talk again. I'll come up with something else that we can talk about. And if you want me to talk about something else too, list it down in the comments down below. All right. Have a terrific day. I love you guys. Bye.